Oops.
All right, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen,
Yes,
good
yes.
evening. Episode 14, STK surviving the Knicks. Hope everybody tuned in. Hope everybody's well tonight. If you hear the disappointment in my voice, it's because I'm very disappointed. like I just can't.
Very much so.
I'm searching. I'm hoping my brothers can help me solve this conundrum that is the Knicks tonight, because I just don't get it. I'm trying to figure them out, and I'm stuck. But before we get into all that, let me introduce you guys to my brothers. We got Coach B in the building. Coach B, what's going on? All right.
Tough one, basketball season's here, so my teams are getting ready. We got a scrimmage tomorrow. Shout out to Avenue JV.
All right.
But yeah, we're gonna play better than these Knicks did tonight. I'll tell you that.
No doubt. We got the infamous Wallstreet Hec.
What's up, man? What's up?
All right. What's going on, Wall Street? You good?
Yeah, man. Yeah, ready to go, man. We got some numbers to get into.
Got some numbers to get into. Okay,
bring the fire.
Who's up and who's down? We gonna find out. And last but not least, the infamous, the indisputable Ed Dollars. What's going on, Ed?
What's up, guys?
Yeah.
Man, tough watch. I just watched something and my dog was like, "Yo, cover my eyes. I can't deal with this."
No, not PJ.
Ooh, what's going on here?
Not PJ. PJ
was like this, eyes closed, barking at the TV.
That's crazy. Shout out to PJ. Follow PJ on Instagram. What's PJ's handle?
PJ Montolio.
PJ Montolio. Follow
boxer.
PJ. That's right. Beautiful dog. Yeah, man. I don't get it, man. So tonight they lost. It seemed like they were just fighting the whole time. Team field goal percentage, they shot 42%, 32 from three-point land. They had 18 turnovers. They were out rebounded by Orlando. They were led by RJ Barrett with 17 points, but he shot 7 for 19, which is not good. Julius Randle, again, I don't know what's going on with him, but he's negative 21, 13 points, 5 rebounds. It's hard. Obi Toppin's a plus 11 at 14 points. Alec Burks, 15 points, but he's minus 5. It's not a lot of pluses on the board. It's not, I don't know if they had it tonight. It just, shout out to Clearview Daniel in YouTube tonight saying hashtag Knicks fans hurting, hashtags Tibbs ain't it.
Yo, slow down.
Oh no. So let's get into this, man. Let's get your analysis. We're gonna start with Wall Street tonight. Wall Street, what was your analysis of tonight's game? If you want to go into other, in a comparison to the last few games, you can. But what's going on with the Knicks
tonight was an important game, man, because if you look at, I guess I'm looking into it too much, but I'm looking at the standings because it's gonna be tight. So games against the East, Orlando matches up with us well. I don't think they're gonna win, a lot of games and be bothering us later on down the line. They just been playing us really well, but yeah, so I'm just looking at the standings. I think that the standings are going to be a little tight this year. And this was an important day because, when you look at some of the other games, we matched up well. We were supposed to be able to move up a little bit. And, instead we take a L to one of the bad teams in the East. So, but I think that is just the same thing that I've been saying, man. I think that we might have a coaching problem, man, because we got too many weapons. And, it's like Coach Tibbs really tries to force his action, and I liked what he did today on offense because he said, you know what, they're going to flood the paint and they don't contest threes very well. So we're just going to keep on shooting. And even when they were missing shots, they kept on taking the shots and they were able to dig their way back in the game. But you got to figure out who you want starting your game and who you want closing your game. And, it can't always be based on who's just playing well tonight. You want your starters closing the game. If they're not good enough to close, then why are they in the starting lineup? And then what happens is that you're wearing the bench out. Their bench is doing the job. They're either keeping us in the game or they're keeping the game close. But then they're on the court for 7 minutes, 8 minutes straight. They're playing from behind. The starters are chomping at the bits to get back in. Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker have not been shooting well. Here's a night to get them into the game late in the game so that they can get their legs back under them, let them get some rhythm. If not, take them out the starting lineup. So I think we do have a coaching problem, man.
All right, definitely. All right. Ed Dallas, what's your verdict, bro? What's going on?
I think the general premise that Heck was saying is correct. Basically, there's an issue with the starters versus the bench. Like, the starters didn't have it whatsoever today. They were dragging ass the entire game. They play a slow pace, and Orlando was trudging along as well. We were kind of like, we were ahead a little bit, and then they came back. They were basically, stride for stride for us. We only really took control when the bench came in, when Obi was in there, when Rose was pushing up the pace, and when Quickly was pushing up the pace. Really, the key today was Quickly and Obi pushing up the pace. They erased Orlando's lead. We were up like 6 points at one point in time, and then what happens? Mitch got hurt. He went for an offensive rebound. He falls really hard. You can see the grimace in his face. He threw the ball towards a white jersey. Luckily, we got it back. We had to take Mitch out at that point in time. And although Mitch is not considered a bench player, he was really gelling with the bench players at that point in time. And when that happened, he put Julius back in. And this is the problem, right? So the majority of the players that brought the lead back was the bench squad, including RJ. When Julius came in at the center position, I don't know if they knew really how to play together, because when RJ was playing with the other guys, with Quickly, Obi, and Rose, they were pushing up the pace. When Julius came in, they slowed it down a little bit, and then they took out Quickly, and then they took out Obi, and that's when problems occurred. So, not today. Basically, the last couple games, there's been an issue with the starters. The starters are a negative. They're actually the worst starters in the NBA by plus minus. They're a negative 82 right now, while the bench squad is one of the best benches in the NBA. They're positive like 50, 60 points or something like that. I don't have the actual stat on the bench, but the starters are terrible. So what do you do as a coach? You change it up? Maybe, maybe not. It takes a little bit of time to gel. The bench has been around a little longer, so that takes, that they've gelled. But one of the linchpins that we thought could gel a little faster was Fournier. And Wallstreet mentioned it. You wanted Fournier in, but he's just not playing well, man. He's not playing well at all. He's not playing with confidence. He's not shooting his shot. He had 5 points. He was 1 for 4 from the 3-point line. At least RJ was doing other things. Fournier had 1 rebound, 1 assist. He was useless out there. And Kemba can't guard nobody, man. He can't guard nobody. And that's a big problem. I was looking at Kemba, and I looked at some tapes when he was in Charlotte, and it's just a totally different Kemba. Again, still better than anything we've ever had in the last 10, 15 years. But the idea of Kemba is greater than the actual Kemba in front of us.
Yep.
So we got a lot of issues, and we got to clarify it. We got a coaching problem, but I think that we got a player cohesiveness issue. We don't know if we want to be fast. We don't know if we want to play slow. We don't know if we want to play through RJ. We don't know if we want to play through Randle. We don't know, man. And it's getting messy, but we know what the bench is. The bench pushes it and pushes the pace. I don't know, man. I'm disappointed today.
Definitely.
Let me lighten the mood, man. Jesus.
Okay, you gonna lighten the mood? Let's go.
It's still early on in the season,
I die
right?
with every loss.
Mute him.
Mute him. All right, he's muted.
Right. We're still above 500, okay? So let's focus on the good things. We're still above 500. I do not like the fact that Cole Anthony got 10 rebounds. LaMelo Ball the other game had like 15, 17 rebounds. We lost the rebounding battle in every game that we've lost in the last 4 games, except for the Charlotte game, but it was a 49-50 rebounding battle. So as a unit, not just the big guys, as a unit, we could do better on that end. Overall, Tibbs is kind of starting to see the fine print, getting Obi up there. Obi got more minutes the Charlotte game, and he ended up with more minutes than Taj Gibson tonight. So I don't know if he's catching us, and listening to what we're saying, or he's just, starting to make sense of what's going on out there. So Obi's getting what he deserves. Kimba is doing a good job of funneling the guards in towards the bigs. But if Mitchell Robinson is not in the game, there's no real shot blocker. So therefore, it looks worse than what it is. But he's doing the best he can for his size. I do believe that he deserves more minutes to end the third and to start the fourth, especially if Derrick Rose is going to continue to close the game. They have to figure the starters have to figure out how they're gonna play well together, because I'm pretty sure at this point someone told Fournier he has to take less shots, because there's no way you come out hot in the season opener the way he did and then it just starts funneling downwards, unless someone on the inside is directing him to take less shots.
He doesn't have it,
and
doesn't have it right now.
Like, in my opinion, swap him out for Alec Burks, and see what happens there. Let's make that happen, and hopefully something good comes from that. But hopefully Mitchell Robinson is okay. He gave us a double-double, but I don't think it was his best double-double, especially with only one block if he's our rim protector. And Julius Randle, mix it up. Give everybody more time with the second unit and see which one works best. Between the starters, give them all a little bit of extra run with the second unit. Definitely with Rose and Quickly, because they have such great energy, and Obi, and just mix and match everyone else, because everyone like Taj Gibson and Burks are kind of expendable in my opinion. And definitely Burks closing games could help, but definitely I want to see Obi and Julius Randle on the floor together. If not, just Obi to close games, because his energy is so infectious.
So we got a couple hot takes from the crowd tonight. Kanal saying that the Knicks need to make a change at some point, that Julius is not the guy. And Daniel Clearview said that Kemba cannot be Kemba when Julius Randle is Tibbs' favorite point guard.
That is a fact. That is a big fact.
Yeah, can I get that one, please? Oh,
especially the bench is a fundamental problem where you have the best bench in the NBA by the numbers. If you change that, you're hurting your team.
Oh man,
you're hurting your team by changing the fact that your bench is one of the best benches in the NBA.
Gotta figure it out.
But that's the
can't
coach.
Win with him. Gotta figure it out without him.
Wallstreet, what you was gonna say, brother?
So I have been meaning to say it. I don't think that we touched up on it, but Julius Randle took a lot of shots last season, and this season he got a little bit more firepower around him, especially in the first few games. He's looking at RJ's development. He's looking at Quickly and Obi. Nerlens Noel didn't play tonight, but he's been playing well when he's on the court. And not for nothing, I think Julius is doing a great job, because he is not hogging up the ball. Yeah, he runs the break. That was his team last year. He made an all-star team last year. And I think that he's that we even asked that question. We posed that question. We were like, can Julius be a number 2 guy? And I always said like in order to be a leader, you got to be a great follower. And we're saying vice versa. So he led the Knicks last year. You're going to tell me that he can't be a good follower? If you're a good leader, you're going to be a good follower. You got to be a good follower. because leading is so much harder. Right. And I think that he is deferring this year. I think that he's giving the guys an opportunity to shine, and they're getting spanked. And he's like, but he's out there, he's boxing out, he's contesting layups, he's playing defense, he's boxing out, he's getting rebounds. He gets a nice amount of rebounds, and he doesn't get it because he's slashing in the lanes. He gets it because he's strong, and he boxes out and he goes after the ball. I think that he's been playing tough. He hasn't been playing great, but he's been playing tough. But he's also given the chance. He's also, allowing the team to develop. I'm giving Julius a decent rating. I kind of like what he's doing.
Julius was terrible today.
So
he was negative 21.
So Canal has a rebuttal for you, Wallstreet.
Yeah.
Canal said, "What did he just say?" And he said, but Julius refuses to follow, so he doesn't know what you mean by he's being a good follower. I don't know. Listen, honestly, the offense doesn't look good when he's at the helm. So I don't know. I think there's a couple of things. Well, I think moving into this next segment, what I want to ask you guys now is the Knicks are 8-7 at this point, right? The thing is, what do the Knicks need to do to get out of this rut? Because they should be beating teams. The offense looks crazy. Like the bench is the best bench, but I don't know. Is it a coaching change? Does somebody need to get traded? Like, what do you guys feel the Knicks need to do? Let's start with you, Coach. What are your thoughts
I want to give them a year. All right, we're above 500. If it starts to become a sinking ship, then you revisit like making changes. But give them a year. Give Julius Randle and the guys a chance to have a players only meeting. Like it's still early in the season. We're about.
So you're not ready to hit the target button yet?
Nah.
Okay.
We're exactly 15. We're 15 games in. All right. There's a whole lot of basketball left.
Okay.
There's like 65 more games or so, 67 more games. Like in 67 games, a lot can happen. So, just calm down. Like, it ain't perfect. It's not supposed to be perfect. Tibbs is not an offensive coach. We know that, So the Indiana game is a decent sight. But again, Tibbs has to do better with the pieces that he has now. And free Kemba, man. Free OB, free Kevin Knox. Free the guys that don't get to shine because there's someone else dominating the ball.
Oh, man. Okay. Wallstreet, what are your thoughts?
Man, and I like what Coach said. I think that New York fans could be patient with a team that's developing. We know that we're not going to win it all this year, so we just got to give them some time together. And we touched up on it before, man. When Kimba and Evan were playing at a high level, it was almost crazy to watch. We looked so tough. So they just need a little bit more time to gel. The core is building. And just a little bit more time. But we really need Kemba and Evan Fournier to get back to producing for us on offense because, the defense, we got a lot of guys that work real hard on defense. And you guys came here to hit shots, and if you're not hitting shots, we don't expect you to do a lot, anything else. So, you got to hit shots. So let's see what happens. Let's see if these guys can get into a rhythm.
Okay.
Reach.
Okay, Ed, what's going on, brother? What
Hit the panic. Hit the panic button, boys.
Hit the panic button.
Let's blow it up.
Man.
Hey, listen.
Jesus.
New York.
Trade everybody.
We don't wait for nobody. We're not waiting a year. We've been waiting for years. Go get Bradley Beal. All right. Now this is the issue. We don't know who our identity is. Last year we relied on defense. We let Julius do everything because he was the hardest working Knick. This year, all of a sudden, we shot 49 threes today. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know our identity. We're a top 10 3-point shooting team. We're a meddling defensive team. Our coach is a defensive coach, which doesn't sound correct. All right. So we have an identity issue. Yep. Number two, in the first quarter, the RJ Mitch pick and roll was killing Orlando. I'm not sure why it stopped. All of a sudden it stopped. So what that tells me is for the starters, I think Tibbs has to make a change. I think that they should run the offense through RJ. RJ didn't shoot it well, but a lot of the shots was off the pass. When he initiated, when he was handling the rock, he was distributing more than any other player. You know what I'm saying? He was getting Mitch involved. He was finding corner guys. And I think that that Randle needs to play more off ball instead of being the initiator at times. And Walker, you know, for all intents and purposes, he's a two guard. He brings up the ball, but he passes it so much around the perimeter that he's not really breaking down a defense and sucking in the defenders to kick it out. He's not.
How
he can't
could
do that
he?
anymore. He can't.
Like,
he didn't do it today, Coach.
He doesn't get enough room to work. Look at this set.
Or
hand
he's
off, coming off a curl.
Yo, mute coach, yo. Mute coach.
I'm a mute coach. Come on, coach. You gotta get muted, bro.
And number 3, you gotta, you know, if you have a strength, you gotta exploit it. If we have the best bench, let those guys cook. If the bench players can change the pace and be one of the top 5 up and down bench squads in the NBA, and we can outrun and gun guys, then we got to play them more minutes. Obi's got to get between 20 to 25 minutes. Quickly and Rose have to get between 20 and 25 minutes. And Burks has to get a good amount of minutes. So those are the 3 keys, man. They got to find an identity. You know, are we a defensive team or are we an offensive team? I think that the ball needs to flow through RJ a lot more so that he can actually get Mitch involved. He's really the only person getting Mitch involved. And Randle needs to take a step back, you know, not a huge step back, but definitely a step back. And the bench from a position of strength has to play more minutes. I think if those things happen, we're going to win more games. This is a gimme game. We should have beat Orlando. You know what I'm saying? Because Orlando's going to be a 25 win team. Are we not going to be a 40 win team? I think we are. So these are the ones that we should win.
No, definitely. You know, and a lot of these decisions comes down to your coaching. And why is the coaching, you know, we tend to blame the players all the time. But yo, I honestly, I'm watching this game and I'm looking at the lineup changes and I'm just like, Tibbs, you're almost like some of the changes that he made. I was like, I kind of called it in my head. I was like, yo, he's about to bring in this dude. And it was like clockwork. Like he brought in Obi or he brought like, and it was like, it's like, dude, have you heard of this thing called a scouting report? Like, do you know that these guys are looking at what you're doing and you're being very repetitive. It's being super repetitive right now almost. And then, you know, you're not going with where the energy's at. Good coaches will look at where the energy's going. Quickly's bringing it right now. Obi's bringing it right now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I don't know what it is. I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is not what the expectation is. And Wallstreet, I know that we talked off camera when they got Kemba and Fournier, they gave up defense. And the risk that was proposed, and even me and you, Ed, spoke about this, was you giving up defense, and the hope is that they get off to a fast start, and they're not. And this is the result. They're 8-7 right now. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man.
You can pick up a defender off the street, man. They just gotta, make the minutes changes. Like, there's somebody scrappy out there that want to play for us.
No,
for Wayne Selden in the game. I don't know.
But we got the defense, man. We got Grimes.
Yeah. I don't think Fournier and Kemba being in the same lineup works. Because you can only hide one. You can only hide one. If you hide them both, that means you only really got 3 defenders out there. So I think you got to mix up. And Julius Randle, I don't know. Like it's, I think, Boston, I was shocked. I was like, yo, Julius is putting in work. And ever since then, it's been like up and down. And the last 4 games, it's been down. Like he doesn't look, I don't know what's going on with Julius.
RJ's kind of been up and down the last 4 games as well. Yeah. I mean, he picked it up late, but he shot terribly today. He shot 0 for 7 from the 3-point line. He was going to the rack a lot, and he was getting, the ball just wasn't going in. Yeah. So
there's no rhythm.
He was doing other things, so I'll give him a little pass for that. But he wasn't. The Knicks go as good as RJ goes. That's the trend I've been seeing.
Okay. So fellas, are we at the? So is it too early to start thinking about who the Knicks could trade for?
Yeah.
Is it too early?
Who's available? Who's really available that's gonna come in and make a difference? Who's available?
Bradley Beal isn't available because
exactly.
Washington is 10-4 right now.
Exactly. Come on, man. Cut the crap.
So John Wall's available.
Yeah, keep laughing.
He is available though.
Keep laughing.
He is available.
I get it. I like John Wall, but
This ain't it. Yeah, I don't know, man.
And he went to Kentucky.
He did. He definitely did. I mean, listen, I don't know.
And gonna help Julius. Won't help Julius Randle play any better.
So fellas, let me ask you guys this then. How many games are you going to give them before, like if let's say 20 games from now, they're still 1 or 2 games over 500. What moves do you think they should make? And let's start with you, Ed. What moves do you think the Knicks should make if 20 games from now they're still only 2 games above 500?
Maybe the funny thing is that I'm looking at your screensaver and I'm seeing Obi. When I was looking at this game today, I was like, my God, this guy looks like Amari Stoudemire. In my mind, I'm like, what are we doing here?
No way.
We hurting ourselves by having Randle play so much and having Obi not play so much? Do we have a hidden superstar on our squad that if he had more minutes, we would have more production? It really hard to tell, but the reason why he played just 18 minutes today was because he was damn near perfect. He even hit 2 threes, one of which was to tie up the game, man. This guy was straight up playing perfect. So the moves that you do, I mean, obviously you got to bench somebody, right? The easiest choice is you bench Fournier for Burks. The harder choice is you bench Walker for Rose. And then the last difficult choice is you got to cut down Randle's minutes and maybe get him down to 28, 29 and give those excess minutes to Toppin and see what's up. So, you can't, I was just joking about the full panic mode and who you trade, this and that. These guys I don't see anybody getting traded. If we're going to trade, we're going to trade a whole roster for a couple of people. Right. I'm not sure that's going to happen this year, but to maintain our record, to keep up with the East and to get into that top 6 spot, I definitely think that you guys said it right. I don't know if Fournier and Walker could play together. And it's not like Fournier's whack on defense because he's active. I just don't see a connection between those guys. And maybe they do need a little bit more time, but Alex Burks is a gamer. I can see, if you swap Alex Burks and Fournier in the starting lineup, I think that they can actually pick up the pace a little bit more. And that's another problem I think that the starters have. Their pace of play is a little too slow. They walk up the ball a lot. Again, take the ball out of Randle's hand. Have the point guard bring it up. When you get off a rebound, let's go downhill. Let's pick up the speed, the pace. Our pace is one of the slowest paces in the NBA, so that needs to change. So a lot of the things I just mentioned were basic coaching changes. You guys hit it on the nail. Coach Tibbs is fucking up. Tibbs is messing up. He needs to really look at the roster and not do what I do in my 4th grade girls class and get my Excel sheet and see who I'm going to substitute every other 5 minutes. You need to adapt or die. This guy's like, oh, let the ball tell you how the game should play. So let the ball tell you how the game should play, my man. You see the energy everywhere. Obi's in there. The score magically changes. Julius comes in and it does it again the other way. My man, what? Does he owe you money? Did Julius lend him money or something? My God. No, and I agree with the guys. I agree with the fact that, hey, you know what? Julius was an all NBA, second team all NBA last year. Julius was an all-star. You definitely got to give him a little leeway, but he don't need to play 35, 36 minutes. Today was a good example of what he could play. He played 32 minutes. I like to trim that to 30 and give Obi some more time, because Obi, honestly, there's not one person that's on a per minute basis is playing better than Obi right now.
Hey, you ain't lying. Coach.
Way to finish strong.
And one later. Coach, what's up?
With the left hand.
With the left hand. With the left hand. Coach, what are your thoughts? 20 games from now, they're only 2 games over.
I'm riding to the trade deadline, and if someone becomes available, like you think about it. But Tibbs coming off a coach of the year, man. I'm giving you some room to work right here. Like you slowly but surely starting to give Obi more minutes. You running the bench unit late in the fourth quarter. Like I get all of that. You just gotta keep fine tuning those things. And again, I don't know if your old Julius Randle money or something, or like any good coach, you ride with your main guy. Like you my star. You got us up to this point. So now I'm giving you time to adjust while it's still early in the season. But that plus minus is looking real, real bad, man. If you want to find a lineup that's good for Julius, do that. But don't, make the adjustments quicker while it's still early in the season. Or like Ed said, pull his minutes, Obi's hot, man. Quickly is kind of coming into his own a little bit. Derrick Rose can close games. I definitely don't think he should start. So and there's nobody available. Anybody that is available is not a good fit for us right now. So if you want to bring Reggie Bullock back for 2 second-round picks or something cheap, that's fine. Other than that, unless there's a name that pops up this guy's available, it's not worth it. DeAndre Hunter did get hurt, all right, and I like his game. Zion costs too much. Don't do that. We're not going that route
tonight. Okay, Wall Street.
Should have got Lonzo Ball.
No, LaMelo Ball.
That's more than
one of them.
Water under the bridge, man.
They missed both.
Get the third one. See what happens.
Water under the bridge. Let it go.
Let's get the middle brother. Let's see what happens.
If he plays defense,
he'll be stealing wallets in Soho. He'll be stealing wallets in Soho.
In Chinatown.
Canal Street, right?
Man.
Let me stop. That ain't cool. Anyway.
Sunglasses.
What sunglasses? Folkleys. But anyway.
If we keep on losing games in the fourth quarter like this, I'll take LeVar Ball at coach. Clearly he's doing something right. Wow. He's doing something. Listen, he's doing something.
Mute this guy.
He's doing something.
End this take.
LeVar. That's a hot take right there. Wall Street. What are your thoughts, bro? What's going on?
So I just feel like it's like we've been saying, we got a little bit too many weapons. It's almost like you could see the stubbornness on the court playing out. You could see this like I'm willing to lose to prove that I'm right. I rather lose than admit that I'm wrong. And you got so many bodies there that you could throw out there, and those are fouls that you can give. And yeah, man. So I'm hoping. I know I said it before. I'm gonna keep on saying it. I'm hoping that we get a little bit of a situation where you have one coach to kind of build up a system, and then once you get the players in there, now you're gonna get somebody that's a little bit more dynamic. Even did you see the offense that got us back into the game? It was horrible. It was basically one pick or one pass into one shot, and we missed 10 shots in a row. And the only reason we weren't down by 30 at that point is because Orlando was also missing shots. But then we hit a couple of shots. Burke hit a bunch of shots and quickly hit a couple of shots. And then Obi hit a couple of shots. So we ended up erasing a 10-point lead in 2 minutes.
I don't tell Obi.
you know. But at that point, you got your bench out there running for too many minutes at one time. I was even thinking, like, here we go again. It's going to be the same situation as last time. You bring the bench in early in the fourth quarter, and then you burn them out in the fourth quarter. They do their job, and they bring you back into the game. But then when they run out of gas, you just leave them out there, you know, instead of bringing in your starters, right? So I was even thinking, if you see early in the fourth quarter that your bench is really on fire, you can pull them out the game for a few more minutes and then bring them in when there's about 5 minutes left in the game. And then they'll still have a little bit of gas left. They'll still have a little bit of a spark left. But I feel like Tibbs, like he subs in the fourth quarter, I think like 3 times, 4 times. Like, and I'm talking about like in like once you get to the last like 2 minutes, they're making subs on every play for swapping defense and offense. But you know, in the fourth quarter, between 9 minutes and 3 minutes, and it was like maybe 1 sub when Burke first came out the game. So yeah, again, you know, if we're gonna move any piece, I would, and one more thing is that we picked up Evan and Kemba to fill the 2 spots that we had the biggest holes in, which was the 1 and the 3. You know, so with Kemba and Evan playing like that, those spots are still wide open. So I hope there's a situation brewing in New York where it's like, yo, your jobs are not safe if you can't shoot. We're not gonna let you shoot us into the 12th best team in the East. You know, you're gonna have to play ball, or your job is not safe. I think those 3 jobs are the only jobs that shouldn't be safe. Now I know there's bureaucracy and there's contracts and there's numbers, but the only jobs that shouldn't be safe right now is Tibbs, Kemba, and Evan. I'd package them right away if I had to. Why not?
Trade the coach.
Maybe.
Why not?
Wow.
Maybe you can't trade the coach. You don't trade the coach.
You can't trade the coach. Doc Rivers got traded.
Maybe we don't make the playoffs. They fire Tibbs and trade Randle.
I don't know about that.
Randle's too expensive now. If he's not hot, we went down this road before. If he's not hot,
he knew he was going to play like this. That's why he accepted that $84 million.
Yeah.
Listen, maybe we need to put an ad in on Craigslist for those 3 spots. Right? Or put Julius Randle on the back of a milk carton, because where the hell is he right now?
Let's bring in the whole Ball family. While
the rest of the team is looking strong. The Bulls are killing it. Washington is the best team in the NBA.
Ed, hold on 1 second, because we're gonna get into that. So we're in the final round, all NBA. I got questions for you guys. We're gonna start with you, Ed, and we're gonna put you on the hot seat. Okay, Ed.
You.
The Milwaukee Bucks at 7-8. Are you buying or selling that? I'm
selling it. They had a couple guys that had COVID. Middleton's first game came back. You know, their point guard didn't play for like 8 games. The only one that was consistent is the main man, Giannis. They beat the Lakers today, and Giannis had 40 plus, and he was 3 for 3 on threes. They won the championship. They're taking it easy. They're cruising. They realize what they need to do to be in the playoffs strong and heavy. Okay. And eventually they're going to start picking it up. So now they started off the gate slow, and now they're going to start climbing to the top. Maybe they don't get maybe they're not the second seed, but they'll be top 4, top 5 before the end of the year.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Coach, you buying or selling Washington Wizards at 10-4, tied for number 1 in the East right now. Come on, man.
There's nothing
with your
like
gut feeling.
There's nothing like a good flow on offense, man. I gotta buy that they're gonna finish top 4. You know, like Kuzma is fitting in well, and Bradley Bill's Bradley Bill, man, and then Bryant, like those guys, like they're gelling.
Thomas Bryant, what a name drop.
like crazy. So shout out to them. And Trez, big shout out to Trez, man. They freed him. They freed him from LA
by the
and
Lakers, right?
now yeah, hell yeah.
Who would have thought?
Easy.
Kuzma.
Easy.
Yo,
man,
crazy.
I'm not a Kuzma fan, so I try to, like, but yeah, he's doing his thing too. But yeah, Bradley Beal's a great leader, and you can tell like it just like it's infectious, and like those guys are buying into it, and like Kuzma is a guy that needed more room to work, from like a bigger wing or like LeBron dominating the ball from him, and Trez just needed minutes. Trez wasn't getting no minutes behind AD, so like now he's back to being that that nice player, super six man that he was when he was on the Clippers. So
definitely. Shout out to Bill for not falling for it when Russ was trying to get him to leave. He's a real one. I'm sorry,
crazy.
He's a real one.
Crazy,
because he could have bolted.
Shout out to St. Louis.
Yep.
Crazy.
Shout out. Wall Street. Hope you're ready, brother.
Dun, 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 dun.
Are you buying? I'm gonna give you an easy one. I'm gonna give you the easiest one out of all these guys.
Oh man.
Are you buying or selling Golden State at 12-2?
Oh man. That's I mean, listen, that's a great system. That's one of the best players of all time, man. You got to put him on the list. I don't know where you want to put him, but you got to talk about him. When you're talking about the greatest ever.
Who are we talking about?
Who are we talking about? We talking about what's his name again?
Chef Curry with the shot.
Chef Curry with the shot.
Yeah, he's playing at a GOAT level, man. And he's been doing that. He's healthy. They weren't healthy. That system, the way they play is
pace and space.
You gotta like look at like the old San Antonio Spurs, man. They play like that with that kind of like ball movement and that kind of like energy. And yes, I love it. I'm buying it, man. I'm not betting against, the greatest shooter of all time. I'm not gonna put paper against him.
Okay. Fellas, if you had to pick a most disappointing team out of the following choices, who would you say is the most disappointing? The Atlanta Hawks at 7-9, Boston at 7-8, or the San Antonio Spurs at 4-10? Let's go with you. Let's start with you, Wall Street. Out of those three teams,
us.
The Knicks.
You're above 500. You're the same team you were last year. Well, go ahead, continue.
It's okay, Wall Street. If you want to say the Knicks, you're entitled to that.
What was it? The Hawks, the Celtics?
The Hawks at 7-9, Celtics at 7-8, or San Antonio Spurs at 4-10?
Man, they all kind of like. I mean, Atlanta, because they looked like they were going to make a step up, but they started the way they started last season like this, So I'm looking at Atlanta and I'm worried about them. I see them down there, and I know that they're going to catch us, at any time. Boston, I think they still got a little bit of growing to do. I think Atlanta's just a little bit ahead of Boston. And I don't watch West basketball, man. I ain't got time to be watching West basketball.
East Coast all day?
Exactly. I can't stay up past like 11 o'clock.
Yo, hey,
Wall Street got a bedtime.
Who you got? Yeah, Wall Street got a bed. You got curfew.
Hey, out of those three?
Yeah, out of those three.
The Hawks, obviously, man. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They're a loaded team.
Yeah.
They got Trey. They got a bunch of players on that team, and they're sitting at 7-9. Their net rating is 0.5. They score 109 and they give up 109. So, I mean, I think they're the biggest disappointment so far by a lot. The Spurs, they don't got nobody, man. What do you think was going to happen to them? They're going to the lottery. They're exactly where they're supposed to be. We just got comfortable with them being in the playoffs 20 straight years in a row, but they actually have to kind of sell players. And if there's people that we should be looking at that team to try to get some players. They got a great point guard that would be amazing on our team. I know we're loaded on point guards, but our guys are a little older. Their guys kind of young. So, they're going to be a team that's going to be I'm not sure they're going to want to throw $200 million at those players yet. They're going to try to rebuild from the draft and see what's up. The Boston Celtics, I mean, I think a trade's going to happen with those guys. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ben Simmons goes to the Boston Celtics and Brown goes to Philly. You know, I've been hearing that in the chat rumors. And, you know, Tatum and Brown, they're great, right? But they're like very similar at what they do. They need something to change it up. And although Ben can't shoot, he's a great facilitator. And Boston doesn't necessarily have a point guard. You know, Marcus Smart is more of a 3-and-D guy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He's not in a 2. He's not a point guard. He's not breaking down a defense. While for all the shit we were talking about Ben, and you know, Ben is a great passer and he can get everyone involved. I would love to have Ben on the Knicks. if Ben Simmons was on the Knicks, our team would be that much better. And he's still an all NBA defender. And you know, when his issues kind of subside, we're going to be talking about him as one of the better players in the NBA.
Okay. All right. Coach, who are you more surprised at right now?
Looking at the numbers, Boston is shooting the worst out of all the teams from the 3 and from field goal. So to Ed's point, you know, Atlanta, you know, going as far as they did in the playoffs last year, you would assume they'd have a better start. But like it's still kind of early in the season, and like looking at the shooting numbers, Atlanta and San Antonio shoot better from the 3. They're both 6 and 7, but Boston is like 26, and it's like they're having like some leadership issues, and Schroeder's not, you know, what they need him to be, and definitely the tandem is, you know, not the best tandem. So Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have to figure it out together, and they need to find an identity. You know,
need a point guard.
They like something.
Like somebody passing the ball.
I actually like I like Peyton Pritchard, but you know he's on the younger side, so he still has a lot of learning to do as far as like, you know, being a game manager in that sense.
Yeah.
But Boston has the least identity out of the 3 teams. At least, you know, with San Antonio, they don't have the talent, but you know they got pop. So you know, like they'll, you know, even if they go to the into the draft, you know, they'll figure something out. You know, Atlanta, you know, has Trae Young, so like they'll be able to figure something out. But like with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, you know, it's like Jekyll and Hyde. You know, they're both like inconsistent a bit, and they're both not excelling to like where they're carrying their team over the hump. So we'll see how the rest of the season goes. But you know, and they're in our division anyway, so I don't want them to be good, but they're the odd man.
No doubt. Well, fellas, I mean, I think you guys killed it tonight. All right. Shout out to Clearview Daniel, Kanal, and the crew on you know, on YouTube, giving us their tidbits. Shout out to you guys as always. Shout out to everybody that followed us on Twitter. Coach B, I don't know what you did with that basketball emoji, but I mean, we went from,
thank you to our followers.
Yeah, we got like 30 followers in like one day. My Twitter, I had to mute my Twitter notification because it just kept going off. I was in a meeting and it was like bing, bing, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? So shout out to you on that. You know what I'm saying?
Twitter's a machine. Thank you. Shameless plug. Thank you.
Shameless plug. But shout out to you guys. Think you guys always nail it. You know, please somebody listen to these guys. Someone imagine. Please somebody.
And shout out to our super producer, Just.Hek.
Appreciate y'all. And let me tell y'all, you know, last Friday we fell short of the tiger in Ed's backyard. But we definitely gotta do it again.
We might have to mute
with less walking. With less walking.
We were walking aimlessly. We were about 2 seconds from going to Webster Hall. That's the tiger right there.
Cut the live.
That's the tiger.
Cut the live.
It was not my idea. It was somebody's idea in this chat, but it wasn't my idea.
I'm glad
to remain nameless.
I'm gonna eject on that one. Jesus. I'm out.
All I know is somebody grabbed me like, hey, what are you doing? I was like, we're not going? No, we're not going. I'm like, I thought we was going. Yo, shout out to the crew though. Shout out to Ryan, Clearview, Daniel,
E-Legend.
E-Legend. Shout out
Ryan, A.K. the Giant.
All right.
The sneaky giant, man. Everybody looks small. Everybody looks small behind the camera. Then you gotta walk next to him.
I can't lie. Everybody was taller in person. Everybody was taller in person. Like I saw Wall Street. I was like, damn, I'm the only short person. I was like, damn. I thought me and Wall Street was going to be. I was like, God damn. I was like, all right, whatever. I saw Wall Street. I was like, oh damn, you taller than I thought you was too.
That's it.
Just like, this is the first time you met him. I'm like, technically in person, yeah, you know, like, crazy. Oh my God, but that was an awesome night. But either way, shout out to you guys as always.
Yes. Thank you all for tuning in.
Coach B,
STK surviving the Knicks, guys.
Ed Dollars.
Hoodies Wall on the way. We're gonna work on the hoodies. We're gonna work on some
on the way
to get it out there.
Hoodies on the way. Right. You know what I'm saying? We coming. Don't worry. We gonna trust me. Hats, hoodies, baby bibs, all that. All that.
Stickers,
the stickers, all that. But
dollar bills with STK in the middle.
Yes.
Salute to everybody out there. Listen, man, pray for the Knicks. Hopefully things will get better soon. Good night. God
bless.
Next
week.
Be safe, y'all out
Knicks,
there.
that's why it's called that. You gotta survive them.
Surviving the Knicks.
Good night, y'all.
Bye, boys.
Good night.